Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Daily English Stories, your cozy corner where we dive into meaningful stories, life-changing lessons, and tons of inspiration to make our lives a little more amazing. If this is your first time joining me here, I'm so happy to meet you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the little bell next to it so you never miss a single video. Every week, I bring you something special, from simple English stories to help you learn the language naturally, to deep personal growth lessons that anyone can apply to their life. Today, we're going on a very special journey together, one that might just change the way you see your own life. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, if tomorrow was my last day, what would I regret not doing? It's a big question, right? And it's exactly this question that sparked an incredible story for a man named Ben Nemtin and his friends, a story I can't wait to share with you today. We're going to explore a book called What Do You Want to Do Before You Die? A New York Times bestseller that's not just a book, but a powerful reminder to live every moment to the fullest. So, grab a cup of tea, a notebook to jot down some thoughts, and let's dive in together. Oh, and if you love listening to stories like this in English to learn and relax at the same time, then Daily English Stories is the perfect place for you. Drop a comment below and let me know where you're listening from, your living room, on a bus, or maybe during a peaceful morning. I'd love to hear from you. The story begins on an ordinary day when Ben Nemtin and three of his friends stumbled across a poem called The Buried Life. Written way back in 1852 by an English poet named Matthew Arnold, this poem carries a message so deep that it stops you in your tracks. It talks about how our biggest dreams and desires often get buried under the weight of daily life. We wake up, go to work, come home, and repeat, day after day, until the things we once longed for, like traveling the world, learning something new, or telling someone we love them, get lost in the shuffle. When Ben and his friends read this poem, it hit them hard. It was like every line was speaking directly to their hearts, waking them up from a long sleep of routine. They started asking themselves, am I really living my life, or am I just going through the motions to meet someone else's expectations? And then came the big question that changed everything: what do I want to do before I die? Now, this isn't just a casual question, my friends. It's an invitation to look deep inside yourself. Ben and his crew didn't let it stay as just a thought. They grabbed some paper and pens and started writing down 100 things they wanted to do most before they died. From small acts like helping a stranger to wild ideas like skydiving or playing basketball with a former president, their list was bold and fearless. It wasn't just a list, it was a promise to themselves to live a life with no regrets. Once they had their list, Ben and his friends didn't waste a second. They named their plan The Buried Life, inspired by that life-changing poem, and within 2 months, they packed their bags and set off to make those 100 things happen. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But that craziness opened up a whole new world for them. Picture this: they went skydiving, jumping out of a plane thousands of feet in the air, feeling the rush as they fell through the sky. They traveled to Egypt, standing in awe in front of the ancient pyramids, soaking in history that's thousands of years old. They even crashed a stranger's wedding, standing up to give a toast amid surprised looks and happy laughter. One time, they spent a night in jail, not because they got in trouble, but to feel what it's like to lose freedom. And the best part? They reunited a father and son who hadn't seen each other in 10 years, a moment that must have warmed their hearts beyond words. But the highlight? They actually played a game of basketball in the White House with former President Barack Obama. Can you believe it? A group of regular friends turned impossible dreams into reality. These experiences might sound outlandish, but they carry a huge meaning. Life is all about experiences. Ben later said that finishing the 100 things wasn't just about checking off a list or what they achieved. It was about daring to live, stepping out of their comfort zones, and feeling the world in ways they'd never imagined. That journey didn't end with the list, it launched a new chapter in Ben's life, leading him to become a speaker, producer, and famous author. Here's the coolest part: Ben's journey didn't just transform his life, it inspired millions of others too. After completing their list, their story caught the attention of the media. They appeared on huge shows like The Oprah Winfrey Show and The Ellen DeGeneres Show, some of the biggest talk shows in America. What started as a 2-month personal challenge turned Ben into the author of a New York Times best-selling book. He began speaking at events for major companies like Microsoft, American Apparel, and Kellogg's, sharing his story in over 500 speeches worldwide. But Ben didn't stop there. He created a website called The Buried Life, where he posts photos, videos, and stories from his journey. If you're curious, I'll drop the link in the description below this video. He also produced a documentary series, appeared on TV shows, and kept spreading inspiration through meaningful content. From an ordinary guy, Ben turned his dream into a career, and more importantly, he encouraged people all over the world to do the same. So, what's the big message Ben wants to share through his book and journey? It's this: our lives are shorter than we think. We'll all face the end someday, that's just a fact. But what we can control is how we live the days we have left. Ben says instead of letting life sweep us away in a whirlwind of work, duties, and other people's expectations, we should take a moment to rediscover the dreams we've buried. One of the biggest lessons Ben shares in his book is why we keep putting off the things that matter most. Have you ever told yourself, "I'll start exercising tomorrow," or "I'll learn to cook when I have more time"? I've done that, and I bet many of you have too. So why do we keep delaying? Ben explains it's because we don't set deadlines for our personal goals. Think about it: at work or school, we have deadlines for reports, yearly goals, or exams. Those deadlines push us to act, even if it means sacrificing time or energy to get it done. But for personal dreams, like learning a new language, telling someone you like them, or fixing a family relationship, we don't set a clear finish line. So we make excuses: "I've got plenty of time," or "I'm too tired today, I'll do it tomorrow." And before we know it, time slips away, and those important things stay buried forever. Ben shared that when he and his friends decided to finish 100 things in 2 months, that tight deadline forced them to act fast. They didn't have room to hesitate or make excuses. And guess what? They accomplished things they once thought were impossible. So, if you've got a dream you're holding on to, try giving it a deadline, like, in 3 months, I'll finish an online English course with daily English stories, and see what magic happens. Another thing I love about Ben's book is how he encourages us to live for ourselves, not to chase what others expect of us. Have you ever felt pressured to become someone specific, someone with a stable job, a nice house, or a fancy car, just because society says that's what success looks like? I get it, because I've felt that too. But Ben reminds us that if we blindly run after those expectations, we might lose who we really are. He mentions a fascinating study in the book. Researchers interviewed people nearing the end of their lives, asking what they regretted most. The answer was eye-opening: 76% of them said they didn't regret their failures, but the things they wanted to do and never dared to try. They wished they'd been braver, lived for themselves, and not just to please others. If they could live again, they wouldn't let society's rules define their path. Hearing this hit me hard. I asked myself, if I'm 80, sitting in a chair looking back, what would I regret? I realized I don't want to regret not chasing what I love, like starting daily English stories to share stories with you, or learning something new just because I'm curious. What about you? If you only had one day left, what would you do right now? Share your thoughts in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but how do I actually start? Don't worry, I've got you covered with some simple steps from Ben's book, mixed with my own experience running daily English stories. Step 1. Write your list. Grab a piece of paper and write down at least 10 things you want to do before you die. They don't have to be huge like skydiving or meeting a president, they can be small, like cooking a new dish, calling an old friend, or starting English lessons with daily English stories. Just be honest with yourself. Step 2. Set a deadline. Pick one thing from your list and give it a clear deadline, like, in 1 month, I'll learn 10 English words a day. That deadline will push you to act instead of waiting. Step 3. Start small. You don't need to quit your job or flip your life upside down. Ben suggests using spare time to chase your dreams. Want to be a chef? Cook something new every weekend. Want to learn English? Spend 15 minutes a day with daily English stories. These tiny 1% changes add up to big results over time. Step 4. Think about the end. It might sound a bit scary, but Ben uses this to stay sharp. Imagine you're at the end of your life, looking back. What makes you proud? What do you regret? This mindset helps you value time and act now. To help you see how limited time really is, I want to share an idea from Tim Urban, the founder of Wait But Why. He drew a chart with 90 boxes, each representing 1 year of a 90-year life. If you're 30, you've used 30 boxes and have 60 left. If you live to 90 and read 5 books a year, you've only got about 300 books left to enjoy. Kind of shocking, right? Try this for yourself. If you're 25 and want to travel abroad once a year, you've got around 65 trips left. How many more times can you celebrate New Year with your family? When I calculated how much time I have left with my parents, I was stunned. Since college and work started, I only visit home 3 to 5 times a year. If my parents lived to 80, I might only see them 20 to 30 more times. Time isn't as endless as we think, friends. So cherish every second with the people you love. My dear friends, that's everything I wanted to share about What Do You Want to Do Before You Die? By Ben Nemtin. It's not just a story of a wild adventure, it's a wake-up call that we only get one shot at life. Don't let your dreams stay buried under busyness or others' expectations. Be brave, make your list, set deadlines, and start today. I hope this video lights a spark in you to chase something meaningful. If you found it helpful, please hit like, subscribe to Daily English Stories, and share this with your friends. I'd love to hear your stories. What do you want to do before you die? Drop your ideas in the comments, or even email me your list, I'll read and reply. Thanks for spending time with me today. Remember, life is a gift, and how you live it is how you honor it. See you in the next video on Daily English Stories. Have an inspiring, energy-filled day.